to the show. Clown Ninja Podcast, ready to go, broadcasting coast to coast with your host, ready to give you a dose. We got R.I.B., the guy you come to see when it's late in the fourth and you need a three. Next up is free game. We know a guy in the game like his name is Eida. Then we got MELLO. They say he is a dream whose analytical mind so divine and supreme. That's the crew you listen to, so hear what they have to say. Talking manga and anime, damn near every day they bring the heat. Every weekend be more of that peak. Check the technique. Hey, they spit that fire, their words taking you higher. Like ninjas in the night, they taking over the empire. Anime talking, otaku walking, they got it all from Naruto. The Dragon Ball, Cloud Ninjas, where they talking anime and more. Join the squad, subscribe, and rate. It's gonna be great. Mellow wanna be free game. They bring in the heat. Listen and join. Join the fam.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Cloud Ninja Podcast. Today we're joined by our two lovely co-hosts and, of course, our special guest today. Our two lovely co-hosts, Free Game Nino the Third and MELLO the Dreamer. And, of course, our special guest today, it's Meek. I don't got the last name for Meek either, but we're just going to rock with Meek at being his last name.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's been a minute since I've been here. It's been I don't think I've been here for 4 or 5 months.
Nah,
Well,
it's been
actually,
over a year.
It's all of TBV. Yeah,
So
over
it's
a
been
year,
like
man.
10 months at least.
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure to be back, man. I'm happy to be with you guys today.
Of course, man. I told you you're
Always a
the
pleasure to have you.
you're the fourth honorary member. Or I think Kiddo's the fourth. You're the fifth honorary member of the podcast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
FBK got to be at least like the 7th, right?
Yeah. But yeah. So we was just gonna basically get into chapter 1 to 10 since we ain't talked to Meek in a while. As far as Bluetooth Vortex is proceeding, how's it been going along? How have you been enjoying it, brother?
Honestly, TBV has been. It has surpassed my expectations, right? Following from what happened in Boruto Part 1 with the whole Omnipotence event, I really didn't know how Kishimoto was going to handle Boruto leaving the village. It was such a big cliffhanger to end Part 1 off like that. And the fact that he's kind of shown off Boruto as such a cool character, I'm glad that he kind of went that route. Of course, I do have some criticism, some gripes, nothing too big, just little nitpicks here or there. But in terms of the overall time skip so far, it's been really, really good. I've been enjoying it. Each chapter has been a banger. The writing from Kishimoto when it comes to the plot twist, when it comes to Boruto and how strong he is, Kawaki's dilemma not being able to keep up with Boruto, as well as the new villains with the Ten Tails, Jura, Hidari, etc. Their goals of wanting to learn more about the world. I think it's been really beneficial, and I'm glad we're having new villains that are trying to
Right.
gather more information to find their true purpose. And I think it's really important that they're adding on from the Otsutsuki and the Tentails, which is added on lore that was included at the end of Shippuden and of course in Boruto, right? Boruto Part 1.
Right.
So far, man, the first 10 chapters of TBV, it's been banging. Every chapter's been a banger. Even the slower paced chapters that don't have much action, every single page has important information. I feel like there isn't repeated dialogue per se, because I feel like the one thing that one thing I really didn't like about Part 1, at least, this isn't a big criticism, but a little bit nitpick of mine, was the fact that sometimes Kishimoto would repeat himself in some of the chapters. There'll be repeated information.
Yeah.
I understand there sometimes needs to be a recap or analysis for what has happened, but we're getting right into the action.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate it because we're going right into the story, and it's keeping us ready for what's gonna happen next chapter.
Yeah, no, that's facts. I mean, as far as that, I was seeing a lot of people that was saying chapter 10 was a little lackluster. Would you agree with that or not?
Wow.
Nah, man, I thought chapter 10 was great because chapter 10 was it finally they're finally setting time for the side characters of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least in the manga, like forget the anime, at least in the manga for Boruto Part 1, there was a lot of just Boruto and Kawaki focus.
Yeah.
And like I get it, of course, those are the main characters of the series. But when it comes to the other characters like a Sarada, Himawari, we've seen Mitsuki earlier in TBV. They're finally getting that main focus when it comes to their actual character. We saw this earlier with Mitsuki on his his son, with how he views Boruto and Kawaki. Obviously, he got mixed up with the omnipotence, but he realized that Boruto isn't the root of all this, and he's finding his own purpose. That's very important for his character. Same thing goes for Himawari. She's now the new 9,000 Cherokee. It's setting her up to be an important player in this series, as well as Sarada as well, because she's also a main character and she's going to battle Hidari next chapter, as well as Himawari. She is going to fight Jura, even though I don't think she's going to win. Probably going to. She might impress a lot of us with her newfound power with Kurama, since Kurama has also turned a new leaf with the fact that he's trying to help out Himawari instead of just trying to take her over. He's trying to guide her, which also
Yeah.
is like where Kurama's essentially become part of the new generation as well. So I mean, I thought chapter 10 was great.
Yeah, I like that. Mello even brought that up. Like, we have like a old gen character that's a new gen character that's in the field. We don't really have that. Like, we don't have Kakashi. We don't have none of the seasoned vets out there in the field. So to have Kurama back and guide him and Ori, that's a plus for the series. I agree with you on that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, 1,000%. I heard you talking about the Shinju and how they don't necessarily have that hardcore sense of direction, or it's like a different kind of villain that we haven't necessarily had in Naruto or Boruto for some time now. Quick question: do you think they'll stay villains since they don't necessarily have like a core set belief?
I think they'll stay villains. I think at least Jura, the main villain, he is going to stay as an antagonist for the rest of the series until he dies off. I think Hidari could change simply because that derives from Sasuke, and I think that connection with Sarada could change because obviously he's trying to kill Sarada right now. They're going to battle next chapter. However, I think that there could be, Kishimoto could add some things in there where he could turn on Jura and team up with the Leaf Village. I think that is possible with his character simply
Yeah.
because of the connection with Sarada.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of these characters are going to stay on the bad guy side for now. I don't think
Yeah.
that's gonna change.
Yeah, I think they like hinted towards that. Like when he was like one of the only ones who was questioning Jura. I can't remember what chapter that was. When it was talking about who they wanted to devour and like who are they and stuff like that. They was trying to figure things out. He was the only one to really question Jura
Yeah.
on like why are we doing this type shit.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, true. And my thing. Well, before I go, you were basically running down some of the targets and pretty much basically stating their roles in the series. Not necessarily saying that all of them are going to be like the main characters, but of course, Himawari, Sarada. What are your thoughts on Konohamaru? Is Konohamaru actually going to have like a decent role, or is this just another opportunity for the board to rise to just get him washed, get him gone, possibly just
Actually,
give him another beatdown?
yeah. You bring up a good point there. I actually think there's a chance for Konohamaru to be useful for once because we saw in part one, my man was a punching bag. They were throwing him around every time there was a new villain. They would just throw in Konohamaru into the mix to essentially allow the villain to just flex on Konohamaru. It would make him look really, really bad. We saw with Kashin Koji, we saw with
he was
Ao,
like
we saw with
Yamcha.
Jikan, we saw with Ishiki. Yeah, he was the Yamcha of part one, and
Mhm.
I think if there's any chance for Konohamaru to redeem himself per se, or at least give him a major role, now that he is viewed as the Hokage assistant right now in the series, I think this is his chance. Right now he is with Sarada in the village, ready to fight Hidari, so he could help out Sarada then and there. Obviously, we don't know how strong Sarada is, but I do think Konohamaru could have a play in helping out Sarada when it comes to fighting Hidari. Now, do I think Konohamaru is gonna, beat a major villain? Probably not, but I do think this is his chance, right? I hope he has some sort of dialogue where, obviously, he does want to become Hokage like Naruto. He's following the footsteps of his, older friend. So with that being said, I think it would be beneficial for his character to actually be of some sort of use, because he's always been an embarrassment. Obviously, it's not his fault because power-wise, he's not on the level of these other villains or
Yeah.
even the other characters in the village. However, I do think it's time for him to like really step out of that, step out of that garbage can instead of being shitted on. Sorry, not just shitted on, but instead of being like beat down on, um, and actually like be useful for once, or like be useful for the plot at least, right? That doesn't mean like beating up a villain, but at least like helping out and not just getting one shot by Hidari, for example. If he like provides like a new suit, I think that'd be fire, right? It's been a couple years. It's been 3 years, so
I want a
maybe
sage mode so
you know,
bad for Konohamaru.
yeah, yeah, stage mode or like new toad summons. He already has one. Maybe new jutsus. I think it would be good if he just like has some sort of level up like the other kids that went through this time skip, because that would also show you like his growth and his development as a character, because we haven't really gotten that much of Konohamaru in the entirety of the series, even the anime. Because we only gotten like one cool moment with Konohamaru, and that was when he was fighting Jugo, and that was like technically a filler episode, and that was like 100 episodes into the anime.
I'm still calling that canon. Yeah, that's anime canon to me. In my deep down in my
It,
heart,
it
it's
is
canon.
it is canon. I call it filler because it's not manga material, but it is considered canon.
Yeah.
You're right on that.
So,
Nah, see,
as the resident Konohamaru defender, I gotta slide in. Okay, gotta slide in.
Got you.
Right.
His
So,
public defender has stepped up to the bench.
exactly. So, number one, not Yamcha. Let's not be too fallacious. Okay. See, Konohamaru's character that you gauge the other antagonists or villains to, right? That is not a Yamcha.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody trying to set the bar with Yamcha. So,
the androids did. I don't know.
Nah, they just packed. They just
Yeah,
packed,
just
bro.
packed
Like
them
They
that was
killed
that
everyone.
was it.
They bodied everyone.
Bro had a sensu bean and call it a day. Like, nah, bro. But Konohamaru is number one. Okay, he's a working man. He's just doing his job. I think people forget this. This ninja stuff is not a hobby. Okay, this is a profession. He's trying to get a pension. Okay, he has a job to do.
Bro,
That's number one.
you're about to make me
And he
choke on my
does-
soda. My bad.
And he does his job well. Listen, the anime starts. He's the ace of the village. So spoken by Shino to the academy students. Okay, big flexing. And we already know he had that major moment in the Pain Invasion arc. And I just dropped the YouTube short talking about the similarities between the current arc and the Pain Invasion arc. And wouldn't you know it, Konohamaru is in both. So if everything goes according to plan, he might get a major moment. And I'm only saying might because it hasn't happened yet. But the fact that he's a target of a major antagonist in the time skip in Boruto's era, and he's the Hokage's advisor, which is going to set him up to become that guy in the very near future. I suspect. R.I.P. to one Shikamaru. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting amazing things from this dude, and Kishimoto's behind the pin, so he already set up Konohamaru for greatness in part one, and I think he's going to want to execute on that in the sequel series.
Yeah,
But
Yeah. Go ahead.
But yeah, just to wrap up my thoughts on Konohamaru, we look. I always say this. We have moments where he fights some of the best people. Kashin Koji,
yeah.
a Juga who's fighting against like the Raikage in Shippuden. He's going up against the likes of a Jigen and Inishiki in the anime's continuity. And this guy's the last one standing amongst all the old rookie nine, right? They're big grown asses now. He's the last one standing. He takes that punch from Jigen and the rods, and he's good. He's a-okay. He flashes Rasengans after spamming jutsu and chakra versus Owl to help Boruto in the team dynamic. Okay, team game, bro. Linden and assist. Okay, shout out to Magic Johnson. Okay, one of the greatest to ever do it, aka Konohamaru. So and then he's still. Listen, I'm drawing a correlation. Rock with me. And then he still had enough chakra to clash with Kashin Koji. We know how nasty he was. R.I.P. Jigen. Right? And so I think that dude is that guy. But admittedly, I have to sit here and take all the slander because that's how time works. It's linear, so we're told. So until he shows up in the actual Two Blue Vortex manga, which I suspect in the next at least 10 chapters he's going to be doing something really nasty.
He was just in the last chapter.
No, I mean show up, like show up to play.
Oh,
right, like not show up and be on the bench. Show up like Kyrie Irving, in the fourth. Show up.
That's what I was thinking. Like, do y'all think that I think I asked this last part. Like, the reason why they didn't have him face off against Hidari is because they saving him for later.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
he does have a moment.
Yeah, he's gonna have that battle with the clown girl. That's like the Moegi Tentails villain. That's
Matsuri, I believe.
Yeah, Matsuri. Matsuri is targeting Konohamaru right now, so he's gonna have a battle in the manga for sure. Like the fact that, like Mello, you brought up a great point. The fact that Konohamaru is getting targeted, the fact that he's also the Hokage assistant, they're setting him up to have a role in TBV. Unlike in part 1 where he only had like a little bit of a role in like the mission where they fought Ao, but outside of that he was like non-existent.
Right.
In TBV he actually is going to play an important factor, especially if they kill somebody like Shikamaru. He's the next Hokage in line, right? Like he is going to become.
Stop it!
I mean,
wait. Listen to me, bro. Listen to me cook.
Am I wrong?
Wait. Who else would become
the advisor?
Who else is being groomed for that role right now?
Yeah,
What do
so
you
like,
mean?
he's the
I believe
16-year-old Sarada?
Nah, Shikadai is being groomed for that role. I trust Shikadai.
Shikadai? What evidence do you have Shikadai being groomed for the role of Kage? What are you talking about?
He's the son of the current Hokage. We know how this nepotism game works, bro. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
So
nepotism.
we know how to.
They gonna make a child Hokage.
This ain't Bronny James, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Nepotism?
Hey,
like,
bro, Gara got it. Hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Now, Bagara was literally him, and they didn't have much
was
candidates to pick from because the Sen was dog shit. We all know that. Who else
Hey,
was they gonna
Shikadai's
pick?
on the front lines.
Konkuro?
Shikadai is on the front lines as we speak. This is the experience that Shikadai is gaining, bro. I'm telling you, they're building up. He's gonna eventually become the Hokage.
You gotta
It's
stop
gonna be
the
a
chat,
battle
bro.
like this. He's gonna get a couple more power ups. You feel me? And then probably get another crazy battle versus against another elite opponent.
You know
And
what the
then
problem?
he'll have the.
Please continue.
Now I was gonna say, and then after those battles and power ups, he'll have the experience, he'll have the power, and he'll also have the smarts of the actual plot that's going on right now to actually be the Hokage. I don't necessarily think that Konohamaru is like abreast of like all the information that is needed to become the Hokage, even though he could definitely become that. I think that Shikamaru is probably gonna get that experience naturally. Because me personally, I think that Shikadai is probably going to be in the field a little bit more. Even though he's not really being targeted right now, it just seems that Team 10 is probably going to be like in the field.
Bro, they're literally in the field like damn near the same amount of time.
Well, now I don't trust Konohamaru. I feel like they're kind of pushing the newer generation in Konohamaru, even though he technically is. You could consider him a newer generation. I feel like he's still like he'll be in the background a little bit more to where I think that Chocho, probably not Inoja now, but Chocho and Shikadai, they're probably gonna actually be like on the field more than Konohamaru.
Number one, now he's not a new generation. He's like 3 years younger than Naruto, and Naruto was like 34. Okay.
That's why I said he's like 30 years old. This boy's knees is hurting a little bit. Like,
but he's like a new generation, like a new generation Jonin. Like I don't. When I looked at him in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, I always thought of him as like the start of the new generation. I don't know why.
He's not though. He's quite literally not. So, but that context matters.
Pushing 30.
That context matters because that context matters because when we're talking about, oh, he wasn't doing anything in the manga, well, why wasn't that the case? Because they're clearly trying to establish a new set of characters, and his old ass is not the one that they're trying to push at the current time, right? But now Kishimoto's clearly making an inserted effort to push him because he's quite frankly a target of the new antagonist in the time skip.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about?
And like 4 years, and 4 years, that man's gonna need a colonoscopy, bro. Like he's not.
I understand, but like pushing him, you feel me, and like actually making him Hokage, giving him the fast track to Hokage, man. I got Shikadai, I got Sakura, I got. Bruh, to be honest, I might even have Hidari over him, bro. That's how unbelievable.
What? Hidari? That's crazy. I take Sakura.
The ops.
Well, we're talking about who's being groomed for the role. Like, this dude is clearly like the Hokage's advisor for a reason. Wait, no. Stop the gaslight. What do you mean you don't see it? What do you mean you don't see?
Make-
He's the whole like. What is Sakura doing, bro? She got a
Ma-
job. She had a day job, bro. What are you talking about? She ain't trying to be
Yeah, she was the
Hokage.
hospital, man. She was the hospital. She's not gonna do anything.
Wait, maybe I just have the Konohamaru hater goggles on. When has
You do.
Konohamaru been advising Shikamaru?
What?
Since
You-
chapter 1.
A two blue vortex.
Um,
What are you
Since
talking
the
I
about?
must legit got the
When,
Konohamaru goggles
he's
on, bro.
posted up
Bro,
like every
go to
other
page 1
advisor
of
that
chapter
you've
1.
when he's
You literally
posted up like every other advisor that you've seen in the past with the like little white robes, and he's just like posted up there like the security guard. He's there for a reason, bro.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I see
like they
him.
don't, yeah, they don't need to sit. Bro, how did you forget that? Bro, what do you?
Bro, whenever I see Konohamaru, I just think it's irrelevant, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I never
That
make
ain't
any
no-
mental notes of Konohamaru.
See, this is why you can't be trusted with what you say about the brother, because you don't even remember what we talking about, bro. Like
Yeah,
that.
that's a good point. I got Konohamaru in the same part of the brain where I got Tonetti and the Jogan and like all the stuff we think is probably gonna come through fruition, but we just haven't seen it yet, bro. Konohamaru got to prove it to me before I start paying attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
What?
I think that's a fair point in terms of just plot relevance because he really hasn't done anything yet. Though I think they're setting up the seeds right now. Going back to Mello's point, like he's the Hokage's advisor. He's already being targeted by Matsuri, who, let's be real, Konohamaru is gonna get a battle in this manga. I do think it will happen very soon because since Jura and Hidari are in the village, eventually those other villains will come and Matsuri will eventually fight Konohamaru. So he's already set up to have some like a lot more relevance that he probably ever will in part 1. So in terms of being the next Hokage, like yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Unless you want like Kid Sarada as Hokage or like Shikadai or even Sakura, who she has no plot relevance in the manga outside of I think when they're talking about the Karma Seal, she was shown for like a couple panels. But outside of that, it's like there's no real other candidate outside of Shikamaru, outside of Konohamaru. They're just talking from a realistic standpoint. Unless you want someone like Ino as Hokage, which that's not gonna work
Yeah,
because she's helping run out she's running the sensory unit, right? So I mean it's set up for him to do something. I understand both sides because I clown Konohamaru a lot in part 1. And even though I understand from like a power perspective, he was never gonna beat any of these guys. It's just the fact that he was just thrown out into the fire every single time, and the result was the same. It was just
Like,
hilarious to see.
But, I
But
have a question. No, I'm sorry. Please continue.
no, you can ask. I ended my point right there.
'Cause I'm like, replace Chochiro with Konohamaru. Do you think he's doing like worse than Chochiro versus like Kinshiki and Momo?
Chocho
Yeah,
or Chojuro?
Chojo? Yeah.
Chochiro.
I mean, Chojo's
When they went
it was
to go
high.
rescue, Naruto.
In regards of things like that has been proven to me, Chojo has proven a lot more.
Bruh.
Like he's actually elite. We've seen him like
Wait, I
destroy
don't deny.
Out of the
I
fourth
don't
grade ninja war.
I don't deny
all
he's
that stuff.
elite. I don't deny he's elite. I definitely did. But we're talking about a Sarutobi, one of the most prestigious clans in the entire the grandson of Lord Third, the student of the 7th Hokage. Bro, the
We
dude
talking
who's
about one of
packing
the-
up pains during the invasion arc as like a itty bitty. Like who, bro?
we're talking about one of
what
the
are we talking
legit
about?
7 swordsmen of the mist. Like I don't know what we're talking about. Like
Nah, the 7 swordsmen of the mist are all dead. Like they were like them new guys. They all dog shit. Zabuza's era.
Don't compare Chojo to those new rebels of Chunin that tried to get active. Nah, Chojo was actually given that sword by the village by the Mizukage. Like that's his.
No, but what I'm
He's
saying is
one of the OGs.
Zabuza's crew when they pulled up like against Kakashi and the 4th grade ninja, like those are who I think of as the 7 ninja swordsmen. Everybody the next generation of swordsmen, like I don't even think they had 7 of them. It was just one dude. Like they couldn't even assemble like the Avengers. Like no, but they dog shit. I don't know what to tell you, bro. So it's
This
just
guy
like
said
it's
the
an empty epithet. It's an empty title. There is no 7 swordsmen. It's just one brother with some swords. That's it.
I don't know.
And
I
I
think
don't
the other
deny
guys
that
probably
Chochiro.
This guy.
I
no.
don't. Well, name the other members. Who are they?
Well, no, that's why the other one's empty. I said the other one's empty. This one's not. That's what I'm saying.
He was a dude with swords. He ain't even part of this, the prestigious, legendary 7 swordsmen of the mist. He's just some guy with a sword. I don't know what to tell you. But all I'm saying is Chochiro's elite. I'm just saying Konohamaru is like up there in terms of like power. in my opinion. And I think he's gonna be doing. I think he could have done just as well as like Chochiro, and he didn't even really do too much to begin with, to be quite frank. If I'm being honest, but I think he did just as well.
Replace Al. Replace Konohamaru with Chochiro when Al pulled up. Al's dead within like the next 3 panels. Like all
bro,
the respect.
Chochiro was like Chochiro was Al's understudy, bro. What are you talking about? When he went to 5 Kage Summit, that was his that was his Padawan.
Exactly, and Al hasn't been active for 16 years at that point. Like Chojo packs him up.
Bro, I was fighting like the Otsutsuki, bro. So it's like
Otsutsuki or dog shit. What are we talking about?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
No
I'm telling you, bro. Who? Kinshiki?
Yes,
wait.
Bro, he was battling Sasuke
so
too.
So the Raikage that was running down base Momo, and he was sweating that. He was literally like, he was concerned. He was running for his dear life. That's what we talking about, the Otsutsuki? We supposed to be impressed by that?
I mean,
Yes.
what about Ishiki then? Naruto had to risk Kurama.
Ishiki's 1-on-1.
Who is that? I don't even remember that. Bro, who's
my
Ishiki?
goodness, stop playing.
That dude who got stomped out by the local 14-year-old?
Bro,
here we go.
had like
the dude who fell for the shadow clone substitution technique?
Bro,
who are you talking about?
Bro, he was under distress. He had like a couple seconds left for life, bro.
That's what I'm saying. He's not a 4th game player. He's not a fourth quarter player. Of course he's under stress. He shoot a 3 and miss. Of course. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying. These dudes are not impressive. So you can't like really use them to like hype up Chochiro or fucking the local black man in the Raikage or anybody else, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
What I'll say is, I just hope they display Konohamaru's power a lot more accurately in part 2, so we can have like a proper build up to his fight against Matsuri. And I'm hoping in the fight versus Matsuri, he has like a significant power up that we just didn't necessarily see coming, and that right there would bestow me the confidence of saying, hey, yeah, he can become the next Hokage. But as of right now, he just hasn't necessarily shown a lot to me.
And when they do have him have his glow up, I want apologies all around. Like they trying to apologize to Kyrie Irving at ESPN. I need apologies, bro. I need people.
Even a Swiss style, bro.
Exactly. Do not. Although he never actually said I'm sorry, lame ass.
No, he did. He has a video where he said,
No. He said everything but Kyrie Irving, I'm sorry. He was yapping a lot.
Real?
Just go back and watch the video. He was yapping a lot.
He was circling around it.
Yeah, like he was like roundabout, but he never out of his mouth said I'm sorry
directly. Damn.
Yeah, like Kendrick Perkins did. I don't still trust that motherfucker.
Like Diddy's apology to Cassie.
Go ahead.
But that aside, though, my only point is I don't want no bandwagons. I don't want nobody hopping on the Konohamaru train when he comes up with that Monkey King Enma Super Saiyan 4 Sage mode. I don't want to hear nothing from the peanut gallery. 4? I don't want to hear nothing.
Wait a minute.
Well, okay, so what if it don't happen? What if it don't happen? Then what should we say?
I don't even want to get there yet.
We're still here. Where we are now.
If he gets destroyed next chapter, I'm gonna laugh so bad.
Yes, we are clowning MELLO next year. Clowning MELLO,
bro.
If he could get destroyed by Hidari or Jura, but I think I don't think that's gonna happen.
You
never know. But I think his real test is going to be against Matsuri. I think that right there is the time where we expect Konohamaru to actually show something. But what MELLO said, bro, I gotta disagree. If he turns up, gets a power up, and starts activating, bro, we were correct all along. He needed a power up to actually hang with some of these guys. Like this is all we've been asking for. Like me personally, my thing with Kyrie was he was always talented. He had the skill, but he just had some other stuff that he had to deal with. Konohamaru right now, in my personal opinion, just doesn't have the skill. So if he gets the skill, that doesn't mean we're wrong.
I can't agree with that.
If he gets the power, that doesn't mean we're wrong.
I think
that just means he got more powerful.
Bro, I think y'all, a lot of people scaling are like turned upside down.
I think he has the skill, bro. Like just like his performance with Jugo and stuff like that. Like
I think he just needs the right opportunity. That's it.
Yeah.
I think
it's the writers, bro. Just the writers just need to write him in the same way they write other characters. That's like he always nerfed He's low on chakra versus Koji. He's outclassed versus Jigen Ishiki. Obviously, his arm is like messed up during the Deepa arc versus Victor. Like he's almost always nerfed, bro.
But
you.
you said that he lost to the guy who lost to the local 14-year-old. So
Who? Ishiki?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? like that dude came back brimming with power. By the time he got packed by the local 14-year-old, dude was on death's door. That's not my problem, bro. Hey, listen. He clashed Rasengans with the dude who packed up Jigen. That's what I know. I don't know.
Nah, that was intentional. That was part of Kashin Koji's plan.
Bro, how you always seem to know what these characters be thinking, bro? That's amazing to me. Who are you, Eno? Like, how do you know this?
You didn't know that?
Apparently I didn't.
Yeah, what's it called? When they clashed, the Toad ended up being on Konohamaru. Like that was the whole plan. Like the Toad had like the flames thing, same jutsu he packed up Victor with.
That wouldn't even make sense. If his Rasengan was more powerful, he would just overpower Konohamaru and defeat him with the Rasengan. So his whole plan was to waste chakra clashing a Rasengan so that he could. No, the goal was to murder them. But Konohamaru is him, so he got out of the ceiling jutsu.
No, that's less chakra.
For a dude who already was on, like, had almost no chakra after the owl fight, like it didn't even really matter, bro.
He was trying to pack up Konohamaru. Also, he felt a little bit sentimental. He wanted to see what the Konohamaru.
No, he didn't. Stop making stuff up. Like this was that's crazy.
That's literally what he said. That's literally what he said.
So he felt sentimental about Konohamaru because of Jiraiya. Jiraiya ain't had no relationship with Konohamaru, bro. What you talking about?
Nah, he wanted to see what Leaf Jonin could do. That's what he said.
But he wasn't sentiment. That don't mean sentimentality. He was trying to murder them, bro. Boruto included.
Well, yeah, of course. But if he just like, in my personal opinion, I think he knows that he's stronger than Jonin, regular Jonin. So he knows he could pretty much pack him up. But him saying he wants to see what they could do, it lets me believe like he's not trying to just one shot them.
Wait, did Koji say that or Jigen? I'm pretty sure Jigen said that.
Koji.
I know for a fact Jigen said. I can't remember Koji. But either way, he tried to murder them. Konohamaru was him, so he escaped it. And he was already low on chakra, and then he was still able to clash with Koji, bro. That's impressive. And yeah, he like tanked, like whatever attack Ishiki, who was brimming with power, launched at him in the anime. He was the only one standing and was ready to fight again, bro.
Bro, he was on pillars on him.
He was on. No, we don't know what he did. They never showed it. They just showed like the aftermath. They could have been like an exchange that had happened. Who knows? Like what else happened?
They really had Ace Rock Lee fighting Ishiki. Stupid.
Yeah, apparently which is crazy.
Listen,
so
he was.
Go ahead.
They was fighting Ishiki while the pillars was falling on him. They was all looking up, scared.
No matter. So like, what was it like? So the idea is like the pillars fell because they clearly didn't get hit. They're not bleeding or anything. So what, they fell next to them and the sheer shock wave of the knocked them out. Like he clearly did some other shit, I think, off screen that like disabled them. But either way, like Konohamaru was the one standing out of the whole entire squad, bro. Like I don't. Like,
yeah, he was.
I don't know.
He was.
No. Konohamaru. All I'm saying is I hope they showcase a lot more of his skills, and I'm hoping that he's actually going to get a power up to pretty much have him be competitive. I'd say, not necessarily beaten, but competitive with like.
He's
Jigen
already
level
competitive,
like, even if it's
bro.
crazy.
I don't know.
Not with Jigen level foes. I'm talking about like actual power up that'll be respectable. It's something that I won't necessarily complain about if he does actually become Hokage.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think he needs that, bro. Because like given Sarada and and he's from a prestigious clan. Like I honestly think like just him in his base would be like nasty. Now if he has a Sage mode, all the better. But yeah, and if he does have a Sage mode, his Sage mode is gonna be like God tier if he's scaling. It's crazy.
All right, so quick question. And I don't want just to be the Mello. I want the other two, Free Game and Meek, to potentially answer it too. Do y'all think he'll eventually surpass peak Naruto, not Baron mode, but Naruto with 9 tails?
I think he can get up to that level, maybe. I don't think there's. I mean, in terms of like this overall scaling of the series, a lot of the villains have already surpassed like peak Nine Tails Naruto. Like when it comes to like the new villains with the 10 tails, the Hidari, Jura, we don't know how strong Matsuri is going to be, but I think it's easy to. I think it's fair to say like she probably is already like around the Naruto Sasuke tier, considering that she's from the Ten Tails and like Ten Tails. We already see how powerful it is. It's like the strongest villains we've seen thus far. So if Konohamaru can fight and potentially beat Matsuri, I think it's fair that he can get up to that level. I'm not sure if you could just outright say, okay, he's stronger, but he's gonna have to. I don't think in his base form he can contend with these characters. Of course, he probably has like another jutsu. Maybe he has a sage mode. I think that would be like the most optimal way to get for him to get more power. But if he's strong like that in his base, hey, that's gonna impress me because I wouldn't expect something like that because we haven't seen something like that before. Yes, he has some strong durability feats against like an Ichiki or an Ao or a Kashin Koji, for example, but we haven't seen him really contend with the top of the top, and he's gonna have to like really power up in order to get to that level, in my personal opinion. But I do think it's very possible. Like the way it's set up right now, he's gonna fight Matsuri, so in the long run, yes, I do see it happening.
Yeah, facts. Like I was talking before, and then we had a 3-year time skip. So I don't really think that Konohamaru. I will hope Konohamaru. I don't think would be content with just where he's at. Like getting beat on by Ishiki and all these like high level opponents. I would assume that he would try to get on that level too, or be able to contend with them. Now, reaching Naruto's level. I think Naruto's level is really irrelevant right now. Like, even if he did reach Naruto's level, he wouldn't be able to contend with the protagonists that we have now and like the villains.
Yeah, the reason why I choose Naruto is because like he was his rival. And,
No,
like,
I
if
understand that, but like Naruto's like full power wasn't really even contending with Jigen, who was weaker than Ishiki. So like, if we got characters that are like on that level or maybe higher, then him reaching Naruto's level is going to be seriously irrelevant unless it's like teamwork between him and his students.
Bro, yes.
Yeah,
To answer your question, yes. Of course he's going to surpass what 6-pass Sage Mode, Adult Naruto. Of course.
Yeah.
Bro, he's already taking hits from Ishiki in the anime, bro. In base, if he has like a power up, like our Sage Mode, like people want, then of course, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. If he has a power, like even if Mitsuri shows up and she starts like packing him up, like tag, like doing like fucking gentle fist types of like blitzing striking speed or whatever, and he's like, oh man, she's like messing me up. Bro is still tanking those hits from like what I perceive to be a god tier combatant. It still speaks to like his durability or whatever. Like it's still impressive. Like this, like I think he's going to have a great showing. Because I want to talk about Konohamaru for 2 hours, but I think he's going to have a great.
I got a question.
I think he's going to have a great showing, and I do think the power scaling is the Sarada thing. I think kind of flipped the table for a lot of people if all that scaling checks out, and I think these characters are just like the 6-pass shit. Like it's not even going to be irrelevant, bro. Like Free Game said, when Boruto wanted Sasuke to become his master, when he asked him, like Sasuke was like, at your current rate, you'll never be able to surpass Naruto. Clearly, these people like the 6-pass level of power is clearly something even someone like Sasuke can envision. People surpassing who aren't like getting power from like a demi, like some kind of half-breed god from like the Pure Lands coming down and just handing them like extra power. So it is a power that can be surpassed. Hell, Sarada just surpassed it if the scaling checks out. So yeah, I think so.
See what you mean. Me personally, I think. Well, I hope so. I'm just gonna say I hope so. I think it'll have a lot of sentimental. I think it'll have like a lot of sentimental value for Konohamaru. You can give like the flashback scenes with Naruto and Konohamaru, him basically saying, "I'm gonna finally surpass you." And also, I think it'll be like a cool scene if Naruto actually does get like unsealed. It'd be like, hey, now they could spar, and now Konohamaru's actually kicking Naruto's ass. Like that would be like a cool scene to me.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
I mean, you're already seeing it with all of the new gen as well. Like for example, Team 10, they were fighting Jura, even though like none of those characters individually is stronger or even on the level of those characters. The fact that they can use their teamwork to essentially maneuver around Jura, as well as like I think didn't like Chocho punch a Bijou bomb out of like the way from Jura that was he was trying to shoot it at Shikadai, right? So like even like Jura notes like he was impressed by like their teamwork. Right, so like one way or another, all of these characters from the new gen, plus Konohamaru, I'm presuming,
I don't think she
all of
punched
their
the
power
Biju
will
bomb.
rise together. Well, he punched. No, I got it mixed up. He punched, or she punched her. She punched him, and the Bijou bomb that was supposed to be shot at Shikadai,
Oh
the
yeah,
trajectory of it, like it
changed.
shot somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that Team 10, like, their power together is enough for them to stay alive, which that alone impressed Jura, right? Who's like probably the strongest villain we've seen so far, right? So if they're bringing all these characters up together, and the fact that they're already fighting these villains, it just shows you that all of these characters that are present right now, they will get to that level one way or another. Whether it's by hacks, whether it's by teamwork, as you've seen with Team 10, or whether it's by unique ability. Maybe with like Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan. Outside of just innate power, such as like with the Otsutsuki's with Boruto and Kawaki. Because those guys are the exceptions.
That's how it's supposed to be too. Like this is a battle shonen manga. Like if everybody was like being scaled to Raditz by the time of like the Boo saga, there'd be an issue, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But my only I'll cap it off with my point of Konohamaru is just saying one of the major themes of the Naruto Boruto series is that of like the old generation passing it down to the next generation, or like this whole master student dynamic. And I do think him being the student of Lord Seventh, it would be very poetic if he does, in his absence, surpasses his master. And given his stated goals in Shippuden, in Naruto Part 1, and Kishimoto's behind the pen, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for that to occur in its current iteration of the story. And I'll just leave it at that. But yeah.
Yeah. I got a question for you though, Meek. Who do you think Jura is? Like, we got everybody else, you know, we got Sasuke, Hidari, we got old girl Mitsuri is can't remember her name. We got Bug, of course. So who do you think Hidari is?
You mean Jura?
Jura, sorry, not Hidari. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jura.
Hidari Sasuke.
Yeah. Hidari
Jura,
Sasuke.
I actually think Jura is part of like the original Ten Tails.
That's
I
what
don't think
was
he represents anybody or anything. I just
Right.
think he's Ten Tails like version 0, or whatever it's like patient 0 of Ten Tails. That's what I think he is. Like he is the original mind of the Ten Tails itself.
Right.
That is now a humanoid. That is in a humanoid form.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah, I was seeing people, they was talking about like how that could possibly be, because like what's his name, not Ashiki, Jigen used to visit him a lot and take chakra from him, so they was wondering if, like, you know, if the Biju got some of his chakra, and that's why he has the mannerisms of like a Jigen, and he looks kind of like him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does. He does. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was about to say I kind of believe that as well. That Jura might actually be a part of the Ten Tails. You were saying something?
Yeah, I was about to say the Ten Tails, like when it comes to Jura, he might also be a bit of Jigen / Ishiki, because as Figam did mention, he does like look and have some of the similar mannerisms to Ishiki or Jigen, whoever you want to say who it is. So I think those are the two possibilities right there. Right, it either could be Ten Tails Origin 0 or Jigen / Ishiki himself, but in like a Ten Tails formation.
Nah, bro. So here's the thing. I think if you like the content, you should subscribe, rate the video, thumbs up.
Facts.
We appreciate all the support. We do have super chat donations open if you want to support the channel. You guys are awesome as usual. For the people who are actually awesome, okay, you know who you are if you do. And yeah, but no, I was looking at your avatar, Meek, and I was thinking of Trump. I was like, my God, like that. I want that.
Trump.
Yeah, you have.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
your
Discord
avatars.
profile picture.
Yeah, your Discord
Oh,
avatar.
okay.
Because I was looking at it, I was
My
like, wait,
YouTube one.
did he
Thought
create
it
like a
said
board,
34
like a
counts.
real Boruto? And I remember like, oh, that's
I
Donald
gotta
Trump.
show
That was
everybody.
yeah, Mr. 30,
Mugshot, yeah.
Mr.
So to give-
34 palms. Okay. That's cool.
Mr. 34 palms, I'm crying.
To give an idea to the chat for people who don't know, my Discord profile picture is Donald Trump's
I'm about
mugshot
to
with,
try to put it on
Boruto's
there.
headband on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it
With
on
the
there.
joke.
That's what we're talking
Funny as
about.
hell.
Yeah, with the joke on as well.
It actually kind of looks saucy. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen
I
Donald
edited
Trump
that
look
shit
so cool.
myself. Yeah.
It looks
Because yo,
nice, bro.
when his mugshot came out, Twitter went crazy with it.
Hell yeah.
That
People
It
mugshot
was
was
crazy
low
than
key
the NBA
epic though.
YoungBoy mugshot.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
bro.
That was an epic mugshot.
They're like
Bro,
Goku,
he look
yeah,
gangster in that
Luffy,
shit.
Yeah, bro. He about to get 4 years, 34 palms, bro. Yeah,
That's
I rock
what's
with
four
it.
charges, man. All guilty.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
guilty?
well,
What's
yeah.
go?
Yeah, he a thug
Yeah.
now, bro. He a felon.
Hey yo, everybody look
Yeah.
at Meek's
Paying off his
I
mistress.
put it on a screen. Look at Meek's.
Yeah, one of the things
I
about
gotta
the
make it
ten tails
bigger.
that I did kind of find interesting. It made it seem like they were humanizing the ten tails, like kind of giving it feelings. Like when Jigen first pulled up to the dimension the first time that we did see the ten tails was like screaming, but like Jigen ended up like talking to the ten tails, and the ten tails seemed like it was listening. It was like bargaining with Jigen because at that point Jigen was saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna have you eat the body yet. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes. I'm gonna wait a bit." And it seemed like the ten tails actually calmed down. So that right there let me believe that the ten tails could actually like have some actual feelings or could actually be like sentient. And that right there, in my personal opinion, kind of could possibly bleed into what we were seeing right now with Jura, like the actual human form, not necessarily human form, but like the actual sentient form of the ten tails.
Well, it definitely had like facial expressions, which I would maybe think is indicative of some kind of, you know, emotions occurring.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case. I've seen dogs make like smiley faces, but I'm sure the dog wasn't smiling. So it's not necessarily the case. But yeah, no, I think Meek is on the money. I think Jura's not any particular person. I think he's just he said what he was. He said I am the I think he said like the embodiment of the ten tails. Like as the embodiment of the ten tails, I can sense other Jinchuriki or whatever the case might be,
And
or
I
other
think his
Bijou.
goal, yeah, and I think his goal is going to evolve from there because right now he's trying to. He initially stated he wanted to devour Naruto because of the Nine Tails. Now it's Himawari because she's the Nine Tails in Cherokee. But I think that's going to change as the series progresses because one, I don't think he's going to die or get eliminated in the next few chapters. I think he's going to become a long-term villain, like a Jigen, for example, or a Momoshiki per se. And two, I think I think this is his like base form. I think he's going to evolve further when it comes to not just his power but his mind as well. He's going to like want more like as I mentioned before, he wants like a new goal. As because he still states like he's learning about the world. He's like reading books. You've seen like multiple pages of him like getting like information. When he first came to the village, he walked into a bookstore picking out books, looking to like find more about the world. When he ran into like Shikadai, he opened up a book. He's like, "Oh, you're part of like the Ina Shikacho. You guys use a lot of teamwork. You're from the Nara clan." So like he's learning more and more, right? And I think that will continue to evolve until he finds what exactly he wants, because he doesn't know what he wants right now. It's just, oh, I want to devour the Nine Tails, right?
Right.
I want to devour Himawari. Because initially it's just, oh, I want to devour an Otsutsuki. That is the original goal of the Ten Tails. And because it's evolving and changing, you're already seeing more and more of it change. First it was, oh, I want to devour Naruto. Now it's, oh, I want to devour Himawari. I think it's going to change from there because he's going to realize that he's getting more information as he meets more people. And that's the one thing he did say. I think it was in chapter 9, before Himawari was revealed to be the Nine Tails in Cherokee. When Himawari left, he was like, oh, I don't know why these characters are fighting for their lives. It interests me a lot. So like he's like picking up like traits and how ninjas are talking and how they're moving and like how like the operations at Konoha are, because he still talks to these people as if like they're foreigners, as if he doesn't know anything about the world. So I think that's going to change from what we know about him right now, and I think he's going to become a whole different monster. In a like after a while, I think he's going to evolve into a whole nother monster where it's going to become like very serious, like way more serious than it is right now.
He's
You
dead,
think
bro.
he got more forms?
He's
He said
dead.
he's dead.
He's dead,
Would
bro.
you,
I think he's. Have you
Like-
seen Hunter x Hunter?
yeah.
I think he's gonna be like the king, the Ant King.
Dang.
I think he's gonna be a demon. There's gonna be a young woman, a young female, that's gonna redeem him, Himawari. Since her dad's not here, she's gonna take that role of talk no jutsu because Boruto's clearly on demon time.
And they're gonna play
And
chess.
maybe a form of chess, right? But no, not actual chess. But I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out some kind of game board or something. Maybe Shikadai plays a little, was it some Go, some Shogi? But nevertheless, and I think he's gonna get his redemption, and then when that happens, like that, I think the Bug Shinju is gonna like devour him. I really think Bug is the guy. I think he's the guy. Everybody else is just a misdirect. I think Bug's the guy. So I don't see Hidari, Mitsari, Jura lasting that long. Once Bug gets Eida, and he becomes all knowing with the Senrigan, and then he packs up Damon, I think that's when we're gonna have like a real big problem. I think Bug is probably because I like how you say like different forms transformation. I always say the Cell Saga from Dragon Ball, right? Not original, but I think it works, right? And what was Cell? He was a bug, right? And then you have the Shinju bug. I think they're trying to hint at something here. And then I think if he goes after Android 18, Eida, 17, Damon, he chose to go after like the best target that you could out of all the targets chosen, right? And I think he's not strong enough now, but at some point he's going to consume Eida because she does not want those eyes. And I think her losing those eyes are a good thing for her character. And she's not a fighter. And Damon, I think, is too arrogant and cocky, and he'll probably like beat up Bug because he seems to have some kind of animus towards him. We saw that in the Part 1 manga. So I think he'll be like Vegeta, cocky and arrogant. He won't finish the fight when he can, and then his arrogance is going to cost him his sister. And she can be consumed, and we know that's not death. They explain what devour actually is. Right, she can just be like nourishment or something, feeding off her chakra or whatever the case may be. So we can get her back like Android 18 was recovered when Gohan punched Cell. But I think she should lose her eyes to Bug, and I think he's going to turn on his quote unquote comrades because he's the first Shinju you see. He's the first one that presses Boruto. He's the only one that doesn't have an official name right now. I like the Bug parallels with the Bug from Dragon Ball. He's targeting Android 18, 17, bro, everything, bro. And I think they're setting up Jura to be like this very empathetic kind of villain to where he's going to do some like sinister stuff. But he always like, it's never out of malice. It's really just out of necessity. Like he's trying to get to a goal and people are standing in his way. Like even when he like runs Inojin through, he's like, what did Himawari say? Like, guys, run away. Why? Like, don't get involved. Don't hurt him. And he's like, yo, I concur, bro. Like, why are you guys here? Like, go away. Like, all I want is her. Like, what are you doing? Right? So, like, he even gave them multiple opportunities to leave. So I think that character is going to be redeemed at some point. But when it happens, he's going to die, and it's going to be very sad, like the king from Hunter x Hunter. But that's just how I think about it for sure. But you had a question, Bar?
Oh, no. I was done. Oh, okay. Did that happen? Now you're making me think.
Transform. They have some kind of. You asking Meek about. You're asking Meek about transformations or something.
Oh yeah, I was asking because Meek said this right here there's probably gonna be like another level to Jura. I was asking if he thinks there's gonna be like multiple transformations like a Frieza.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's very possible with these characters because they're still learning more about the world, right? Like they're not like regular human beings. Like they're right now their mind is like a blank slate.
They're like babies.
Yeah, Jura is trying to get as much information as possible by reading all of these books, and he even admits it himself. Like even though he's learning, it's not the information that he needs.
Yeah.
And his goal right now is just to get as much power as possible in order to evolve, because everything's about evolution. That's the original 10 tells is determination. That's their goal, right? By devouring an Otsutsuki. But however, with him, it's very different because that's not what he wants. He wants to devour another being that isn't an Otsutsuki, but he still doesn't know why, right? So he's still trying to understand that. However, I think eventually, whether it's next chapter in 5 chapters or in 10 chapters, however long it takes, whether it's Jura or one of these other 10 tails sentient beings, they will come to an understanding that they need like a certain person or a certain power in order to evolve, in order to get even stronger, to like finally understand what they want. Because it's not really directly stated. They don't have an ultimate goal. They don't have an ultimatum. It's more or less, here's what they want, and it changes on the fly the more that they learn about the world. It interests all of them, especially with Jura. And I think it's going to change with these other characters as well. Mello did bring up a good point with Bug. It's gonna be really funny to see how like that character is going to interact with Eida and Damon, because power wise we don't know how strong he is. Obviously he's a lot stronger than the original Bug, but in terms of how he's going to devour Eida, if that even is possible, and if he does, which I wouldn't rule out, I do think it can happen. um how will Jura react? Will he become jealous of his power? Will he try to devour him as well? Maybe some of these ten tails could turn on each other. Right now they aren't, because they are working as one. But obviously Jura is seen as the leader of the group, the way that he speaks. If he gets his power of authority overridden by someone like Bug or even Matsuri, how will he react? Because that could change the dynamic with all of these characters as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a question for
What
you. I'm sorry, Bark. Hit it up.
Well, I was about to ask, is Code pretty much finished? Because these are his creations, right? Like, do you think he's going to be still involved in the storylines of the Shinju moving forward, or is he just going to take a back seat until like they're all gone?
Make that everybody do the dirty work.
It
genuinely
probably
think-
could be that. 'Cause,
Yeah. I genuinely think he's gonna be in this. He's gonna be on the sideline for a minute. I don't think he'll come back. He knows that he can't contend with Boruto. We don't know if he can contend with Kawaki. He's for sure not gonna be able to fight the Ten Tails for sure. 1000%. He can't do that. He saw them and he dipped. Like, he's scared of those guys. So he knows that, okay, let me get those guys to do my dirty work. Essentially what you were mentioning before. He's not gonna be able to stop Boruto or any of these guys. So essentially his thinking is, okay, let me just have these guys kill each other so then I can do what I want. Right? So I think eventually he will come back, but I think it'll be in a way that nobody sees it. I mean, they didn't kill him off for a reason. He's still alive somewhere and he's chilling. He definitely has eyes and ears on the village right now as we speak, because he has the claw marks. So he's moving in and out of the areas, maybe not inside the village, but outside in the outer areas. So he's very good at like finding information. That's what he was when he was a part of Kara, right? Jigen would often give him orders to like find information and to like scout out and do reconnaissance. So with a character like him, he's gonna be in the shadows as well. I don't think he's gonna be in the manga for the near future, but I think there's going to be a pivotal moment where, okay, like maybe Jura's about to die or Boruto's on the brinks of death, or Kawaki, for example, and then Code will jump in at the last second and take advantage of everyone. I'll give you a WWE reference. It's like this was like WrestleMania. I don't know the exact number, but it was like when Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns were fighting for the title, and then Seth Rollins just comes in at the last second and then cashes in the Money in the Bank and then steals the championship. Like, it could be like that for someone like Code,
no idea
where he
what
just
you're
comes in at
talking
the
about.
very last second. If anybody got that
he-
reference, I think that's how Code could operate,
Man,
because
yeah,
he's
and-
obviously not. He's not on the level of any of these characters, and he knows it too.
I feel you. Yeah.
And also, he does have the claw marks too, so he could just pretty much pop through one of the claw
whenever,
marks, easy
yeah.
peasy.
I
Yep.
think, I think maybe the claw marks might be compromised for him at some point, given the Shinju can use them too. So that might be a little sketch, but I do think it just depends on how powerful the Shinju gets, because although they are powerful, at least in the group, more powerful than him, individually, I honestly don't think so. But in a group, sure, they're not so much more powerful to where like I don't think it'll become like an issue. And then also Code's kind of like dumb, so I don't think he's thinking about like the conclusion of all this, because clearly Boruto's not enough to handle business on his own. And I don't know if he thinks Kawaki can like help in any substantial way, because he clearly can't. But my major point is, if the Shinju get too powerful and they're the ones that win as a result, then he's going to have to deal with them, and he already can't deal with them. So it might just be, hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let me help Boruto or Kawaki or whoever defeat them. And Boruto and Kawaki are a problem, but they ain't that big of a problem, right? So I think it just depends on the context. But I definitely think he's been positioned as the type of character that's going to be moving in the shadows for sure, and making like little sly moves, like hidden tactics, getting in where he fits in, like Meek said. being an opportunist, like my boy, the rated R superstar. Since we're doing WWE references, so yeah, I think that's going to be more so the role for that character. But I do have a question for you, guys. So over 50% or under 50%, Sarada is going to use some kind of genjutsu to rewrite hidari. I would say his instincts, but to maybe have him remember who he is or who he's connected to, that being her father or something like that. But basically, genjutsu shenanigans with this tailed beast, Mangekyo tailed beast. But yeah, over or under 50% likely to happen.
With her Mangekyo, is what you said.
Just her Sharingan. It could be her base
just her
Sharingan,
Sharingan.
Mangekyo. Yeah.
I would think it would be some Mangekyo shenanigans. I will put it over 50.
Okay.
I'm going under.
Mm.
I don't think
Ooh,
like I'm
okay.
not ruling out that she can't use a genjutsu. And I've seen her use it in the anime. I think it was in the like Water Mist Village arc when they went on that field trip in the
She did it
academy.
through the sword or some shit like that.
Yeah, she did it through the sword, but that was against like some fodder ninja. You know, this is Hidari, for example,
She did
right?
it on
for,
Boruto
for
too,
her
though.
level,
For her level,
yeah,
yeah,
on
she
Boruto.
can.
For her level,
She
she was
did.
fighting against Bunchen. I believe Bunchen was like a chunin at that point, and Sarada was like an academy student. So
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
never
mean,
know.
yeah, I'm not ruling it out, but I think the chances of it happening are low. So I'm gonna go under 50. I would say like 20%. I think I do expect her to use her Mangekyo Sharingan. It has to happen. She did unlock it at the end of part 1. So with her fighting, Sasuke, essentially Hidari, she's going to be like in her feelings about it because she's essentially fighting her dad. Um, I don't think if she does use a genjutsu, I'll be very surprised because we haven't seen something like that in the manga yet for Sarada's character. She's a very physical fighter. She likes to use taijutsu, fire style jutsus, of course Chidori. That's like her main arsenal. But if she does whip something out like that, I'll be very pleased to see it. But I think the chances of it happening are low. I think she will have something else with her Mangekyo. Hopefully, it's something unique. I hope it's not like Amaterasu or some like repetitive as jutsu because I would be disappointed. But
That'd be lame.
I do think, yeah, that would be lame as hell. But I do think she is more likely or not going to use like more of her physical attacks, taijutsu, ninjutsu more than genjutsu.
And yeah,
Yeah.
when I say, and I want your answer, Bar, but when I say genjutsu, I'm not talking about like that's her ability, just like the normal mechanics of a Sharingan, type of genjutsu. Because I don't want that to be, oh, she can just use genjutsu at a high level with her. Not to that extent. If it's like Izanagi creation of all things type shit, then sure. But yeah. But
What if
Bar,
it's
what's your
like
answer?
what if it's like something she can't control, like how when she
Nah,
unlocks
that's
the
lame.
Mangekyo?
I don't want no can't control shit. Like I want that's
Well, cause
nah,
like
nah.
she's like very emotional and stuff like that, and like the time she unlocked her Mangekyo was through emotion, and that's how she kind of like persuaded Sasuke to help out Boruto. So it could be something like that where she unlocked her Mangekyo and somehow she convinces Hidari who he really is or whatever, because he's really trying to figure out who he is, and if she can spark back those memories in him, it's a possibility that she can reverse whatever happened, or Hidari would change sides.
Well, I don't.
Like Itachi.
I'm not really certain that she used the Mangekyo to convince Sasuke of anything.
No, yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true. But
but I get your
yeah,
point.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but I don't even think she needs the Mangekyo to just use basic genjutsu
Right,
with her like 3 Tomoe.
right.
And the only reason why I even brought up the Mangekyo is because of the lore where like Mangekyo users can like tame the Nine Tails. So you can just like hack a Biju with your visual prowess. But Bar, what was your answer? Over 50%, under 50%?
I'd go under, but if you just ask me a possibility or probability of Hidari having some sort of experience happen to him that changes his mind and him becoming like a part of the Z Fighters, I call it nowadays.
This guy.
Like I think that'd be like over 50%. I think it I wouldn't necessarily say it's impossible for Sarada because we did see her already change Sasuke's mind at the end of part 1 when she did actually utilize her Mangekyo Sharingan, and they didn't necessarily explain that mechanic completely. We understand when it comes to Sarada's like personality, I don't necessarily think that his mind would change like that drastically over something this serious, like over treason. So like I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that Sarda probably had some sort of like, or could have, I'd say, I wouldn't say probably, but she could have definitely had some sort of influence in changing his mind, and that right there could actually pop up again to with Hidari, and then Hidari just automatically just starts to believe her. It could be like I wouldn't necessarily say a bootleg version, but like a probably a lesser version of Kodo Matsukami, because even when Sasuke was like throughout the time skip, he was basically saying like he didn't necessarily know why he was doing it. And I think with Kodo Matsukami, you're kind of doing something against your will, like you don't know why you're. It's not. It's more of like a you believe you're doing it because you want to, like it's your own free will. And I think that this version is like not necessarily completely like that. So like it could be like a specific genjutsu to Sarada that she has, like similar to Kodo Matsukami but not as strong, but it possibly just allows her to use it a lot more often, because remember Kodo Matsukami I believe had like a 10-year cooldown. So like I mean overall I'd go under 50, but I wouldn't necessarily rule it out because we did see a mechanic like that already happen.
Well, I don't. Well, I think it's perfectly fine to theorize. I just want to make that clear. I'm perfectly okay with your theory. But I don't want her to have the shit from the past, bro. Like that's so lame. Like I don't want no Kamui. I like Kamui as a jutsu. I don't want that. I don't want any of that shit, bro. No Tsukuyomi. Like give her some original shit. Number one.
Give her something new.
What if she
Exactly.
has that but plus more though?
I mean, that's fine, but I think that's a little too much. But
He already knows like the Uchiha, like regular jutsu, like Fireball and Chidori. Like we have to get something new.
yeah, I think that would be better. But like if it's like, so just to kind of speak to the point, like if there's like information that comes out in the future, obviously that informs your take, right? You work with what you have in the present. But the idea that like she wasn't convincing enough without some kind of hacked ability, I don't agree with at all. Like she's like having this like emotional breakdown. She just awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan, like, and Sasuke himself says like I'm only here because of my daughter. Like I just think she was enough without the Mangekyo, without any of that shenanigans that people suspect happened. I think her talking to her father and she's like, yo, I've never asked you for anything like this ever. Like she was out of character.
Right.
And she was hysterical. So I think that was enough for him to be able to believe his daughter. And we already know kind of bond that they have that's been established over the course of the series. So that's just my opinions on it. But,
Well, I see what you mean. I mean, I get that, but me personally, I wouldn't necessarily be against reusing some stuff. Like I always said, I think that some of the jutsus from Naruto, a lot of them could be applied to a lot of the elite characters of today, like Ishiki, Otsutsuki, and even past that, some of the Shinju, Jura, like, and even Damien. Like in my personal opinion, Kamui is always going to be effective. Like it's something like a Kodo Matsukami is always going to be effective. And I get it. Some people don't necessarily like to always reach back for stuff that we already seen before because it seems like it's just rehashing and kind of lazy work by the Boruto writers. But I don't necessarily mind them like paying homage or shout out my guy Naruto explain homage. You feel me? In my personal opinion, I think it's just like it for Sarada, it didn't mean a lot simply because a lot of people did believe that she would be like an elite genjutsu user, like similar to like an Itachi. And I understand this right here is kind of like just what fans think, and not necessarily the visions of the Boruto writers. But I think that for Sarada, I think that a lot of people would like appreciate her utilizing like some extremely hack strong genjutsu that we kind of seen already, like that people would kind of recognize. And I think a lot of Naruto diehards would kind of recognize Kodo Matsukami off of the rip. But I
dude,
get where you're coming from, though.
And maybe this is just like a gap in my knowledge base, to be fair. I always thought like the Mangekyo abilities were like specific to an Uchiha in their eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was always like, if that is true, again, that might be a gap in my memory. Then I don't know how she even gets there to begin with. Like, how does she even get Koto Matsukami?
We seen Mangekyo Sharingan abilities be reused, like Amaterasu. Like, so it's not necessarily like always going to be like 1,000% unique.
But I think that was kind of in.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I'm thinking that was like a special case where like Sasuke was given something by some means that wasn't really specified. Again, this is just what I'm going off of memory. If you have like a correction, I'm open to hear it.
Oh, I'm not sure either.
Because like Itachi programmed the Amaterasu in Sasuke's eye to trigger against Obito. So like he clearly was doing something. Like when he
Was
did the
that
forehead
before or
tap.
after their fight?
This was after.
Oh, but wasn't he using Amaterasu during their fight? Or am
Who?
I Sasuke?
Nah, bro.
No,
Nah,
just
nah.
Itachi. I'm like I haven't watched it
Yeah,
in a minute.
yeah,
You gotta forgive me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I just thought that was just like a special case to where he was given things by his brother by some means that wasn't explained. But either way, like, I'm asking now, like, I guess suppose you answered the question, but I suppose I'll ask again, given what you just said. I was under the assumption that, well, I'll state it. I was under the assumption that they get specific techniques to the specific person in their specific eye.
Yeah. Cause what's his name? Shisui had his own special techniques. Tachi had his own special techniques. And Sasuke did as well with their
You're like,
Mangekyous.
it was flame control. Like Itachi wasn't using flame control, and like he could only use Koto Matsukami because he had the eye of Shisui in the crow.
Yeah.
yeah. I get it. That might be the case, but like even with like Sarada, like hypothetically, if they gave her like what I was talking about, like a toned down version of Kodo Matsukami, so it isn't like a 10-year time skip or a 10-year cooldown, I personally wouldn't necessarily mind it feeling a bit repetitive, if that makes sense.
I don't know. It's like how I'm because Koto Matsukami is one of those like OP techniques that if you give it to her and there's like no 10-year like gap, which is stupid to be. I don't think Shisui had a 10-year gap. I think other people had it. I don't remember. But it the thing would be, why isn't she always using this? Like,
You wouldn't necessarily be able to use it on everyone. Like right now, she'd be able to use it on potentially like a tailed beast. Whereas like if she's fighting against an Otsutsuki member, or maybe in the future if you're fighting against cyborgs, maybe she's not able to use it. So it wouldn't necessarily like be like crazy overpowered. It'd kind of be like the Karma Seal, where hey, it could, just because now you have the ability to absorb chakra doesn't necessarily mean you could absorb everything. So I feel like they could definitely write in some downsides to it. But I get the concerns though.
Refresh my
a waste.
memory
That's a
though.
waste.
Was anybody able to put the 10 tails under a genjutsu like they did the 9 tails?
not that I can remember.
Nah,
They were
I
able
don't
to
I
remember
don't
that
control
think
either.
it
it.
ever happened.
Yeah, so
Control
Well,
it, but not
yeah.
genjutsu.
Yeah, I think I strong enough could probably do it. I mean, but that's just an opinion, an assumption.
Was there somewhere you wanted to go with that?
No, I'm just saying, like, in my personal opinion, I think it's possible. Like,
No, I mean,
hypothetically, if an Otsutsuki member came back or came down and had some like crazy visual dojutsus, like I think they could potentially put a ten tails under a genjutsu. They pretty much treat the ten tails
No.
like pets. So like,
I was more.
Oh, you was talking
No, I was
to
more
me,
so
Mello.
asking free game.
Yeah,
but
no.
like,
The only reason why I was asking that is because, like,
Uh-huh.
do you think Sarada, like, her genjutsu ability is, powerful enough to, take control of the ten tails?
I wouldn't have an answer for you. It's an unanswerable question. I don't have the data.
If you can just give me an assumption, like, do you think that
Yes.
she has you do? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. If you just want me to just give you an answer, then yeah.
Yeah.
Given where she's like scaling right now to like hidari, and where I have hidari scaling, then yeah, sure.
Mhm.
I think her power should be sufficient enough, more than sufficient enough, to like probably tame all 4 of them if they write it in that way. Something like what Sasuke did against the Tail Beasts.
When he took control of all of them.
Yeah, like her, she's clearly stronger. Again, if the scaling checks out, she's clearly stronger than like that version of Sasuke, even with
War
little
arc?
6-pass Rinnegan shit. The war arc, like when he tames the Tail Beast at the end of it. But even like, so if someone's not affected by genjutsu, I need to know why. So like Otsutsuki, like they function mechanically like humanoids, like humans. Like they have eyes, Like light travels into the retina.
Yeah, two
So,
legs,
it-
two arms.
Yeah, they're clearly not humans. Like they have like a transformation mechanic built into like their genetics to where if they consume certain things, they can be like transform. It's weird, but they're not human. But at the same time, like there are things that do function like humans do. But the point is like we know how genjutsu works, at least ocular genjutsu. So I would need like an explanation as to why she wouldn't be able to put like the ten tails or ten tails entities or Otsutsuki in a genjutsu, given how they actually function. And we've seen Otsutsuki in genjutsu before in the series. So that would be my only thing. But
Do you think this Ten Cells is stronger than the one in the War Arc though? Even though it's
oh
juvenile.
yes,
By far,
yes.
100%.
Yeah.
The fact that it can evolve into something like this,
Mm.
oh yeah. Like,
I-
let's not forget, Code also did manipulate this Ten Tails
Yeah,
with his claw
that's what I was
marks.
gonna say.
That power is audit, so that power is added on in there. But I just think the original power itself, the fact that Jigen had to like use it as steroids to essentially beat Naruto and Sasuke,
Mhm.
like Naruto and Sasuke at their absolute peak, should tell you something about the power itself.
Yeah,
I understand
no,
it isn't a fully mature Ten Tails, very unique compared to the one that we saw in
And
the
like the
war.
juvenile like description, I think that was like from Sasuke, like that,
Yeah.
or like I think so. That might not even mean anything. Look at this little man. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a little man, but like it might not mean anything. Like it don't mean he can't knock your ass out. So yeah, so it being smaller might not even really be relevant, to be honest.
Yeah. I was just wondering. We do have a super chat from Bravo Got Bands. Thank you for the $10 donation. He said if Bug attacks Eida, who is
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Free game. I think free game cut off.
Can you hear me?
Save her. Code or Damon.
Hold on.
Hashtag
Hold on.
code
Can you hear me?
W number 2.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, so he said Bug attacks Eida, who is the better candidate to save her, Code or Damon? Pound code W number 2. I have no idea what that pound code
Hashtag
W.
code W number 2.
Bro,
Like a
so-
hashtag. I said pound. What the hell?
That's
I'm
some
so-
old ass shit.
I'm so
man.
used to calling like my auto insurance company and having to press like my pin and put pound at the end. It's like
Nah,
press,
bro.
put in your pin and press
It's
pound.
time to get you some life insurance, bro. That's crazy.
I have life insurance.
Who's a better candidate to save her, Code or Damon? Okay, Code's interesting given that he's like a fanboy. Damon is interesting too. I don't think either one of these guys are going to be able to save her necessarily. I think she's a piece on the board that needs to be removed because she's too OP. Even though she can't control it, she could like stumble into some dope shit. Okay, so I don't even think I think she needs to be removed, and I think her being like consumed or devoured is one way that can happen without her dying, and it also powers up the antagonist. So that's number one, and then like number two, I don't think Code and Damon are going to be like strong. Sorry, there's a noise. Yeah. Number two, I don't think Code and Damon. The noise is back.
Oh yeah. Free game. I think yeah. Yeah. There you
Okay.
go. You muted.
So number two, I don't think Code and Damon are going to be like relevant enough to be able to like save someone. I'll give you like an example, like Vegeta, right? Vegeta during the Cell games, he wasn't like strong enough to clash with Cell, but he was strong enough to like distract Cell long enough for Gohan to get the W. So I do think it'll be something akin to that, to where Boruto is going to be the one to save Eida, and it might play into like Eida being more interested in Boruto than Kawaki, which they kind of been hinting at some point towards like maybe the midpoint or like the end of the series. But I think that's probably how it's going to happen. They'll work through someone like a Boruto or maybe even a Himawari or something of the sort. But them themselves, absolutely not. Code, hell no. We give him no dubs. And Damon, I think he's like Nappa. He's too powerful right now, and in order for somebody to show up and be that guy, they need to go through him. So I don't think
Yeah.
he's gonna be capable. But yeah.
Yeah, no, facts. I totally agree. Yeah, facts. I
Uh,
totally agree with
yeah,
what
I
you said
kind of
on
agree.
that one.
Boruto would probably be a better knight, to be honest. But like, I wouldn't necessarily give up too much on Damon. I think Damon would be elite. I think one of the more realistic ones, or the most realistic ones, could be Code, simply because like he does have that easy transportation. If the claw marks aren't fully like compromised at this particular point, he'd pretty much just pop through one of the claw marks to actually save Eida if Bug did pull up. But in my personal opinion, I think Damon is like I don't know how I kind of go back and forth with this. Like I don't fully know if Boruto is like has fully like surpassed Damon yet. I'm assuming so, but like in a situation like this, I think that Damon would be a lot better simply because like Bug would essentially like make himself a tree or something like that. If that's even possible, I think that would be like a good way to actually kill off Bug. I think Code wouldn't necessarily know how to actually kill one of these things. Understand that he probably does have a way to probably seal them somewhere, but I don't think that he's that smart. From the last chapter, they pretty much made it clear that you can't kill Tail Beast. That's probably gonna include it's probably gonna include Bug too. So like in my personal opinion, I think that one of the best ways to beat them is for Damon to pretty much like reverse the whole what is it called uh devouring thing and have Bug devour himself.
Bug devour himself.
If
Okay.
it's possible with the reflection. I don't even know if that's possible.
Oh,
That's
snap.
mad funny.
That's funny as heck.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, wait, how did I end up inside of me? And it's like Inception. It's like a kaleidoscope. It just goes on and on forever. It's like,
That's funny.
what happened?
That's funny.
What would you think, Free?
fucking wild. That's trippy, bro. That's crazy.
If Bug attack Ada, who's a better candidate? Definitely not Cold. I don't think Cold's taking Bug. He dipped out. He got scared, and we saw the clash with Boruto and Bug, and we already know that Code ain't on the level of Boruto. As far as Damon goes, I think that would be a great way to showcase Damon's full power if he has to go all the way out, because we haven't really seen him, use his full potential. He's really just been playing with people, like just toying around. Like when he beat Cold, when he just slapped Kawaki. So we never really got to see him, display his abilities to full potential that he could. So Bug could possibly be a great candidate for us to actually see, what Damon can actually do. And if Bug does mop him up, then that shows us where Bug lies, because we are under the assumption that right now the strongest person is Damon.
Yeah, facts. To be honest, I mean, at this this might be just me being triggered off what my guy Free Game instead of Code just hiding. I kind of remember the conversation we had a little bit earlier. Code at this particular, but shouldn't this be like the perfect time for him to try to become an Otsuki member? That was like one of his goals, right? Like he's taking a step back now because the Shinju they going crazy. Like he's laying low. Like he ain't nothing to do right now. He's not searching for board, so this should be the perfect time.
Nah, because what can he do? He can't beat the Shinju, and he can't beat Boruto. I mean, I guess you can say he can go after like Kawaki, but I think
No, I
given
mean
the
like
fact that yeah.
I don't know the process of actually becoming an Otsutsuki member, but like he has the ability to go to other dimensions. Well, I'm assuming, I'm hoping so. Like
No, he doesn't.
he should be trying to like go like at least again D block a couple of chakra
No,
fruits or something like that.
no,
Go
he can't.
dimension hopping, basically be like the New Age saying. Like, what's
Gar,
the
listen
problem?
to me. He can't go to other dimensions like that. He can only go to places where his claw marks have already been. He only got into the Tintail's dimension was through one of the Kara gates, like that helped him travel dimensions. But he destroyed those when Kara fell.
No. He escaped the last time. Remember they was in with the Shinju and he had to escape.
Yeah, because
How did he escape that though?
he escaped via his claw marks. But like, he can only travel between where his claw marks are, point A, point B. Like if it's like so if he's never been to these other hypothetical dimensions, he can never go there via the claw marks, and that's the only way he has of traveling between dimensions.
Whatever function my guy Code was talking about in regards to like actually becoming an Otsutsuki member, like, do you think that function actually did or was facilitated through Boruto or Kawaki?
No, so what he wanted to do was take them, the Otsutsuki, Boruto, or Kawaki, and then sacrifice them to the juvenile Tentails, cultivate a divine tree, and then produce a fruit once the world was ended. And then he would consume the fruit and then repeat this process over and over again on other worlds. I yeah, so I suppose like he would be upgraded once he consumed the fruit, right? So yeah, new abilities, that type of thing. Like Kaguya developed like her horns, her third eye, that type of stuff. But I think once he consumes the fruit, that's when he becomes like an Otsutsuki, and then maybe he can travel dimensions then outside of his claw marks.
Do you guys think that Kawaki would try to save Eida if it came to it?
I think so.
Kawaki, I actually think Code. Now I'm thinking about, I think Code might save Eida, because I was thinking, I think. Sorry, I think your mic's messing up again. Yes, yours. So I was thinking that. Okay. Yeah, bro.
Yep.
Bro, just
Yeah,
mute,
so-
bro. Just mute it,
Yeah,
bro.
just mute yourself.
Yeah, mute yourself. See, that's why I ain't say nothing. There you
There we
go. Yeah. Oh, hey, my boy. All right. So, what was I? Oh yeah. So I think Code might actually be like the key, right? I think he might be like the guy that can actually stop the Shinju. They get a little too rowdy. But right now, like, so I think there's a reason why, like, obviously Boruto kept him alive. He was trying to plead with him, like, yo, you can stop this before it gets out of hand, blah, blah, blah. So I think him being the one that kind of created them, and he has, like, I mean, his belt marks are all over them. They stem from him to a certain degree. I just feel like he's going to play some pivotal role in, like, stopping them at, like, the last second or something. So I could definitely see, like, if they consume Eida, and he might have access to like wherever the consumed individual goes, right? I mean, he can hop, maybe like he can like hop inside of them. Have you ever seen like that filler episode of Dragon Ball Z where Vegito gets turned into like a toffee candy? It's like huge, bigger on the inside type shit. I think it might be something like that, to where like Cole can like enter into like maybe when the Shinju, I'm just tinfoil hat like Baro says, consumes them, particularly Bug, they get like teleported to some like claw mark dimension or some shit, and then like Code can go there and then like save her or whatever the case may be. Maybe, but I do think he might be a pivotal character just for the mere fact that they stem from him to a degree. So, and also I'm knock on wood that this doesn't happen, but I do think he should at some point, because it's so literally migrated there. It like turned to smoke and shit, but so did Momoshiki when he like first dissipated when Boruto defeated him, but he came back. So I don't know, but it's just interesting stuff. But nevertheless, thank you for the super chat. Did Meek answer the question? I don't remember.
No,
Yeah,
I
I think he
didn't.
did.
But just to
Oh,
give you a
damn.
quick answer, because we've been on this for like the past 20 minutes. I'm just gonna say Code. I'm gonna say, excuse me, not Code. Damon. Damon is the better candidate to save Ada, simply because that's her sister. They're siblings, and they're always together in the village. If Code, I mean, I wouldn't rule out Code not coming. He could pop up out of nowhere using the claw marks, since they're also made out of claw marks, like Bug and the rest of the Tentails. So it is possible, but I personally think that yeah, it's just gonna be Damon. Um, I think Damon, if it ever gets there, it'll be that way.
Okay, so who right now would be like the big three in terms of MVPs for the first 10 chapters? Who you guys got?
MVP?
Yeah,
Alright.
MVPs in order. Big three.
Oh, are we? Is it like a villain? Could like a villain be an MVP for like their side, the antagonist side?
Just three. Just whoever you want. 3 characters in TBV.
All right. Unfortunately, well, for me, I'll go first. I'll go Boruto number 1. I think he's probably in the lead right now for MVP. You feel me? He got the odds on his side. He like minus 200. Number 2, I'd say. This is close. This is matter of fact. I'm gonna go a villain. I'm gonna go number 2 would be Code, simply because he's pretty much like the originator for all the villains that we do have as of right now.
Whoa.
And so like as an antagonist, he'd probably be the MVP because he was
Whoa.
like the most impactful as of right now. And to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily give it to him if this didn't necessarily like kind of play into his plan. What he does want to do is he does want to eventually have Boruto or Kawaki be like devoured by these 10-tail figures or the 10-tails period. And the Shinju thing, as we were kind of discussing earlier, kind of just put everything on like autopilot, like, or it pretty much do it itself. So I feel like he could be number 2. If I'd go with number 3, this is close. Number 3, to be honest, I'd say Shikamaru. I think Shikamaru is going out on a limb with actually communicating with Boruto. I think that right there is going to actually like provide some long-term impact that's going to be extremely it's going to do the Hidden Leaf Village extremely good. And not only that, for the security as of right now, I think having Boruto on kind of his good side, that right there in itself is like extremely impactful. So I feel like Shikamaru like kind of facilitating the number 1 of the MVP just like kind of just puts him at number 3. So I'd give it to Shikamaru as of right now in regards to like his impact on the series so far. Like I think it's going to be a lot more. I think his impact so far has been good, but I think it's going to be a lot more impactful in the future. So this could be like kind of like a projection type pick, but I think like as of right now, it's already been good, and he's probably going to be in the top 2 picks probably if we do another 10 chapters and one chapter 20.
That is a hell of a list. I did not that
Yeah.
that took me places. Okay, I rock with that list. That was interesting. What about you, Meek?
Yeah, so number 1 is easily Boruto. I think everyone's gonna have Boruto at number 1. He has been by far like the best and most valuable character in the time skip so far. I think there's no discussion about it. Just his presence, his power when like fighting Code, saving the village, his ability to come in and out of Konoha, helping everyone. I think it's been very impactful. It's been the most impactful thus far. Number 2, I'm gonna go Jura. Right, I know Bar you mentioned Code, but I think Juro and like the rest of the Tensels, that was something out of Code's control. He didn't really understand what was going on with those type of characters, and even though yes, they were influenced by Code's claw marks, these are its own sentient beings, right? And I think when it comes to a character like Jura, he is trying to understand and like find out what his true purpose is as a Tentels, right? He's trying to devour Naruto, now he's trying to devour Himawari, and he's most likely going to evolve that goal and most likely get more powerful from there with his with his desire to learn more about the world. And I think that's very important because that's probably the most unique we've seen from a villain, at least amongst the main villains like a Momoshiki, like a Ishiki so far. I think that poses a big threat to what he truly wants as he's trying to devour these characters. Eventually it will change. Number 3, I'm gonna go Shikamaru as well. I think Shikamaru's Hokage has really impressed me with the fact that he was able to find out what omnipotence is without really being informed about it. He was essentially able to break down what it was by understanding that Boruto was essentially thrown under the bus, and his beliefs were confirmed once he was able to talk to Boruto. And now he's working with Boruto from the outside, or he's working with Boruto from the inside to play both sides of the field when it comes to helping out Konoha and the Hokage killer per se. And I think that role is going to continue as the series progresses, as long as he stays alive. Because if he gets killed in the next 2 chapters, I might have to change my positioning. But so far, he's been impressive. He's been impressive as Hokage. I'm not gonna lie. Even though, like on a power standpoint, he's not gonna do much. Obviously, Shikamaru is strong. Don't get it messed up. But he's not. I don't think he's able to contend with these characters. his smartness so far, his IQ, his ability
Yeah.
to think, and ability to essentially find loopholes through this omnipotence by being able to differentiate that Boruto really isn't the bad guy after all, and
Mm-hmm.
that Kawaki was the one that manipulated the entire story. That's really impressive because he's the one that controls the village now. He's the eighth Hokage after all, and with his influence, because of this knowledge that he does have, and the information that he does have at hand, he can influence how Konoha thinks, especially when it comes to Boruto as well. Like if the village, for example, like if Boruto comes into the village and they want and like random fighter ninja attack him, Shikamaru can call that off in order to, find a bigger purpose, right? Sarada was talking to him about it, and then eventually he was able to come to his senses when it comes to that. An
Yeah.
honorable mention though, I'm gonna say Himawari. She's not
Mm.
there yet, but I do think she's gonna make her way into that top three because of the Nine Tails. I think her acceptance, what kind of showed me that she can become a lot more relevant character, an important character, is the fact that she already accepted that she's the Nine Tails Jinchuriki
Mm-hmm.
when Kurama informed her about the Nine Tails and that she's the new Jinchuriki. She immediately took it in. She wasn't scared or anything.
Right.
She wasn't confused. She immediately came to her senses about
Mm-hmm.
it and accepted that role instantly. I think that's really important because Kurama was actually impressed by it and was like
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh, that's my girl," ooh, ooh, all that stuff. And was like, "Oh, let's go Himawari at the end of the chapter, ready to fight Jura." That's really important. But yeah, that's my top three.
Yeah.
What about you, Free Game?
My top three, of course, Boruto number one. Mine's going to kind of be a little bit similar to Meek's because I'm definitely putting Shikamaru as number two because he is the only one that seems like he is question. Well, besides the other people who are questioning it too, but he seems like the only person who is affected with omnipotence, who is questioning, his memory, and he's actually trusting Boruto and working with him, and he found the way to communicate with Boruto without anybody else hearing it, and so Shikamaru, he always been a great strategist. So like even since part one, so him for sure. Even though like Meek said, like he isn't the most powerful, but it isn't always about power. It was always stated in Naruto like it was about uh, um, skill more than power, and so I think Konohamaru, sorry, not Konohamaru, Shikamaru number two. My number three choice, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Jura. I like Jura as a character. Jura is super interesting. Like we were speaking about before, like he's kind of like a baby. He's soaking in knowledge. He wants to learn more. He's interested in the world around him. He's every chapter he's more impressed about what he learned and the books that he's been reading and stuff like that. I'm starting to think that he's starting to experience that the books aren't just everything. He has to learn from personal experience too. But yeah.
Dope list. Dope
That-
list.
That's actually fire. Before I go, Mel, you got a list?
Yes. So I will say Boruto Uzumaki, obviously, mostly because his character is really the catalyst, I think, that is really bringing in the hype and anticipation for Two Vortex. Like, he's really holding the series up, right? I think it was it Atlas who holds the world up or something in Greek mythology? Maybe I'm completely wrong. In fact, I'm pretty sure I am. But maybe you know who I'm talking about, and they'll let me know. But he has the weight of the series on his shoulders, and he's carrying it like a man should. So I rock with little bro. Flying Thunder God showing up in pivotal moments, the swagger, the stoic energy, like the mystery surrounding the character. Everything about him is just like a vibe. So I think more so than anything, he's a franchise player. Not even just what he's doing in the series, but how that like branches outwards into like the fan base and into like the real world and how people, hey bro, like that's Boruto now. Like, oh I gotta pull it. He pulling out the sword, like he pulling out the flying thunder god, like he rocking the planet with a brand new. Oh, I got to pull up. So he has to be the MVP because he's holding it down, right? He's LeBron James. He's Michael Jordan. Okay, so definitely Boruto a number one. Number two, I think next to every great hero must be a great villain, right? I'm thinking of a Nagato, I'm thinking of an Obito, I'm thinking of a You thought I was gonna say Madara, didn't you? You thought. No, not Madara. But I do think villains make the series, right? So I think Jura is definitely holding it down right now. He's a very compelling and interesting character. There's depth there. He's very new, but also innovative. You haven't really seen too much like this, where a character is like so new to the world and they're trying to figure things out, and the character hasn't even really formed an ideology yet. Speaking of a Nagato and a Pain, I mentioned that this arc is very similar to the Pain Invasion arc. Well, you take a look at Jura, he's not like a Nagato, he's not like a Pain, even though those similarities are there in his actions and visual similarities with the Rinnegan and such. But yeah, such a compelling character. Like, hey, I don't want to kill you guys. Hey, I'm gonna praise your teamwork. Hey, I'm trying to get a goal or achieve a goal or get a target, and you're just in my way. Go away. And then he even kills a child, and he's like, "Oh, I read about this. This is what they call aesthetics." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so now he's going down this path where he finds beauty in death. That's very destructive, but also kind of like poetic in a dark way." Kind of reminds me of a show, Hannibal Lecter, with my boy Mads Mikkelsen and Lawrence Fishburne. Fantastic show, definitely recommended for chat. But yeah, so I'm liking the direction of the character, unique, innovative, and compelling, and I want to see more, and that's a good thing. Number three is a tough one because I want to throw Sarada in there, but I will admit right now I do think Shikamaru. I do think it's Shikamaru. He is holding it down. He's doing the role of the Hokage, but he's also making boss moves in the shadows and using his mind to kind of work around these god tier entities like a Daemon and an Eida, right? How he convinced, excuse me, how he strategized, to come around and communicate with him so that he can set up a line of communication with her and figure some stuff out and set that with board. So ingenious, right? Of course, that's what you would expect from him. All the while juggling omnipotence, all the while juggling that his friend Naruto is still alive and having to deal with that emotionally, all the while juggling that Konoha is in a really bad place politically, right? They're looking very, very weak. Okay, they're looking like a barbecue chicken to all the other villages. So there's a lot of things that he has to wrestle with, and he does it with such poise and such mastery that you can't help but put him at least in the top three. So those would be my big three: Boruto Uzumaki, Jura, and of course Shikamaru Nara. 100%. That's my big three. But did you have something that you wanted to say, Bar?
I like that.
So did you have like a?
Well,
yeah.
Well, not your list kind of kind of enforces what I was about to say. It's crazy how before the time skip, Shikamaru was on a list of like most likely to die, and now just 10 chapters after, he's like in like a consensus top 3 MVP in TBV. Like it's crazy. Like the globe is crazy for my guy Shikamaru.
Thanks. Shout out him.
Yeah. I know Bar, you gotta leave. I just have one question for Meek. Meek. We discussed like everything that you liked about the chapter and stuff. Like, do you have anything that you didn't like about the recent 10 chapters?
I wouldn't say didn't like, but I would like to see more of would be the world building. So obviously this happened. Like what I'm referring to is how like the ninja world reacted to Naruto dying. Obviously it's been 3 years since that event occurred. Obviously he's not dead. He's in another dimension, but at least for the knowledge of the world, they think that Naruto's dead. I think it would be beneficial to actually show the village's reaction and how, like, what would they do hearing that Naruto died. So, like, I think it's very important that we get to see, like, how does somebody like Gaara react? Because that's Naruto's best friend, a close friend of his, right? Obviously, that could be shown in the anime. I hate saying that because that's the one thing I have a gripe with, like the anime and manga. Obviously, I get it; they work together. The manga shows you like the basic plot points. The anime fills in the specifics. However, I feel like when it comes to the overall world of Boruto, they need to show some of these other villages, and I think it would be more beneficial to show how they view Boruto, how they took in Naruto's death. What did they do about it? Somebody like Gaara, his reaction. If the other villages are also trying to hunt down Boruto as well, because let's not forget, all the villages are working together. We saw when Naruto took in Kawaki, Naruto called a 5 Kage summit asking, yo, should I bring in Kawaki into my village? Like, he didn't make that decision on his own. He asked the other Kage to do this. And I think it's really weird that the manga didn't reference back to like the Kawaki and Boruto dynamic on how the Kages view that, because they were the ones that ultimately gave the approval to bring Kawaki into the Leaf Village, since all of the villages work together. And I think when it comes to those other villages, hearing the reaction that Boruto was the one that killed the Hokage-san, and that he was the one that was in Kawaki's shoes, since they were the one that quote unquote made the approval for Boruto to be inside the village, when in fact it was Kawaki. I feel like that was missed out. Like, that was it doesn't change the plot, right? Like, it clearly doesn't change anything, but I think that's something that should have been referenced, because it was such a pivotal point when it comes to bringing Kawaki inside of the village. Not only that, I wouldn't say this is bad writing, but I don't like how Kawaki's been used in the first 10 chapters. I think he's a fucking joke right now. I know he's gotten a lot stronger. I understand that he has his goals, but number one, he hasn't come close to it. I understand we're still in the first 10 chapters of the time skip. Number two, he's kind of taken just everything not seriously at all. Like, when he's just seeing Boruto, he's not thinking straight. He just wants to go for the kill. He's like Sasuke in a way, looking at Itachi. Like, every time he saw Itachi in part 1, he would just go for the kill and think irrationally. Kawaki's kind of in that position right now, where every time, like, even when the village was being attacked by the Tentails, instead of trying to help out the village, he tries to attack Boruto right away. And even though Boruto did run away since Kawaki activated his karma, sorry, I coughed. Boruto like made fun of Kawaki. Like, he's like, "Oh, did you even get stronger? Did you train at all?" Because he got, before Kawaki activated his karma, Boruto like essentially one-tapped Kawaki. And he one-shotted him, and Kawaki was on the ground helpless as hell. Obviously, he will bounce back. He's the other main character after all. He's gonna have to battle Boruto one-on-one inside the destroyed version of the Hidden Leaf Village. So he will get more powerful, but Kawaki has to step up his game, because obviously Code, we all make fun of Code, but Kawaki's been getting that Code treatment in TBV so far, and he's my favorite character. As a Kawaki fan, as Kawaki's #1 fan, I can't take it, man. He gotta step up more.
I don't think you're Kawaki's #1 fan. I think that crown has been taken by Barbie.
I wouldn't necessarily claim to be that big of a stan.
Right.
Nah, but you gotta
stop it.
Gara,
Stop
probably.
It.
You gotta stand on that, bro.
Yeah,
And
you gotta
Gaara,
stand on that for sure.
why you always pick these dudes, these funky ass haircuts? You got Gaara with that haircut. You got the mohawk.
His haircut looked regular when I started standing. My guy, what you doing?
Hey, bro, the changing of the guard. Okay, now his haircut looks like dog shit now, and you still Gaara.
Blame Kishimoto.
I mean, yeah, they changed it. Gaara's hair be looking different sometimes, bro. They be changing it.
But I mean, going to church with that haircut, that's crazy.
Facts. So even I said though, I thought Konohamaru was disappointing this chapter, or not this chapter so far in TVV. I'm hoping that he'll pick it up. So I kind of do gotta agree with Meek right there. Another thing that Meek said that was kind of interesting.
You mean Kawaki?
That we didn't. Kawaki?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Hell no, this dude.
Yeah, Konohamaru hasn't done anything, bro.
Konohamaru and Kawaki, they both got similar names, right? They start with K. Or what are we doing here?
Fair enough.
It's a letter.
But like, what Meek said was kind of interesting though, when he said we didn't necessarily get to see the reactions of everybody else to Naruto dying. It kind of reminds me a lot of when Boruto died, and we didn't necessarily get to see pretty much any reaction. Even though Boruto's death was a lot faster and a lot quicker, I thought they could have definitely, added a lot more entertainment of like us seeing Sarada's reaction. Not Meek. MELLO kind of brought this up a lot when it first came out. I think MELLO had like a lot of legendary rants at that time. We didn't necessarily get to see anything. I remember at that point we were pretty much like fantasizing and pretty much theorizing of all the people that were actually going to feel or be impacted by Boruto's death. And it's kind of the same thing with Naruto now. We just haven't necessarily seen that. And of course, the crazy part was, in my God, Meek just laid it out. The fact that this is Kawaki, like Naruto himself pretty much said, like, hey, I'm gonna handle everything. Everything's gonna be cool. He's gonna stay at my house. I'm gonna be by his side 1,000%. And he kind of not necessarily overtly said it, but like kind of implied that, hey, if anything goes wrong, just I put all the blame on me. Now he's like completely sealed, and the actual person he was supposed to be taking care of is actually Rogue, arguably one of the strongest characters in the world at this particular point. Yeah, us not actually getting to see that reaction of all the other Kages, I thought that right there, in my personal opinion, was like to this point one of the biggest letdowns. So yeah, I definitely do want to see the other Kages.
Okay, I gotta go soon. I just
Same.
wanted
I have
like
to leave
like
as well.
Yeah, same. You got any?
wait,
No,
sorry,
you
yeah,
got-
real quick. Give me like 20 seconds per person. Like, what's the big, I don't know, thing that you want to see next chapter? For me, I just want to see Himawari versus Jura in an actual fight, and I'll just throw in Sarada versus Hidari too. But what do you guys want to see? Meek,
Same
hit it up.
thing.
I'm gonna say Sarada using her Mangekyo Sharingan for the first
Ooh.
time, actually showing off a new ability against Hidari, and actually putting up a fight. That's it.
Free.
I'm going with the same thing as you. I want to see Himawari.
Okay. What about you, Bara?
I was gonna say Sarda's using the Mangekyo Sharingan, but I'll take it even a step further. Sarda somehow convincing Hidari to join the good guys, join the X Fighters. I think that's probably
Bro,
one of the
Z
things I
Fighters.
want to see the most. Yeah, even though I said it's her doing it potentially via Genjutsu, it's probably like under 50%. I think that right there is something I really do want to see actually. And
You
again, we
wanna see
didn't
somebody
necessarily
join
get the
the
full
good guys.
explanation. Yeah, in fact, we didn't get the full explanation of the Mangekyo Sharingan. So, what I was about to say is, if we do see it, hopefully they show at least some concrete abilities of the Mangekyo Sharingan.
I gotta go, but I think it's too soon for Hidari to join anybody. But as soon as next chapter. But guys, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate the support to the
Facts.
chat and the cool ones. Okay, you guys know who you are.
Thank you, Bravo.
and,
Got bands for the donation.
Exactly. Big ups to our channel members. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. Okay, and thank you so much for our guest Meek for showing up today. We're gonna respect your time, but we appreciate you hopping on. Definitely follow It's Meek's channel, and he has a collab channel. Okay, I think it's called Peak Fiction.
You think?
Okay, I think
Is
I mean
that the
he
name of it?
just reached. Yeah, I think he just reached 1,000 subs. Okay, and got monetized.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
yeah.
So definitely check
Oh.
out Peak Fiction's channel. We got a review for chapter 10 up, and more dope content coming. We're cooking up some special stuff this week. So, with that being the case, check out the Diplomatic Immunity podcast. Wait, you still doing that, right?
Yeah, I'm about to change it up though. I told you I'm doing a
Okay,
script.
bet.
Yeah.
Bad. And of course, Bar B's channel when he comes out of retirement, and of course,
He
Mello the
been
Dreamer's
dropping
channel.
videos. Stop doing that to bro.
Are you uploading something?
Yeah,
I
he's
saw
been
your sub.
uploading, bro.
I saw in the sub box you
Yeah.
upload a video.
What you upload today,
Yeah, you
bro?
gotta get back
Yeah.
to it.
No,
Oh,
Not
shit.
today.
I'm probably uploading tomorrow.
He
to be
uploaded
honest.
in the last 2 weeks for sure.
Bro,
Yeah,
use some
I'm a
of the
little more
clips
active.
from the podcast if you need them, bro. Just get in the game, bro. I need you back, brother. Okay, you motivate
I
me, okay?
wouldn't do that. I can't upload 2 videos in 2 weeks and just throw a pod clip up. I gotta ingratiate myself to the subs again. Like I can't.
You know how
just-
many clips we don't use?
Yeah.
Either way, guys,
no
like and subscribe. We appreciate the support as always. I'm your humble host, Mello, signing out. I'll see you guys later. Host,
Peace.
thank you so much. Peace.
Thanks. All right, y'all.
Later.
See you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, mate.
Hey, yo, son, let my ninjas cut. Hey yo, welcome to the show, Cloud Ninja Podcast, ready to go. Broadcasting coast to coast with your hosts, ready to give you a dose. We got Bara B, the guy you come to see when it's late in the fourth and you need a 3. Next up, Free Game Nino, a god in the game like his name is Zeno. Then we got MELLO, they say he is a dream whose analytical mind so divine and supreme. That's the crew you'll listen to, so hear what they have to say. Talking manga and anime, damn near every day. They bringing the heat every week, giving them all that beat. Check the technique. Hey, hey, yo, son, let my ninjas cut. Let my ninjas cut. Hey yo, welcome to the show, Cloud Ninja Podcast, ready to go. Broadcasting coast to coast with your hosts, ready to give you a dose. We got Bara B, the guy you come to see when it's late in the fourth and you need a 3. Next up, Free Game Nino, a god in